X-Men. All right. We have a rumor for X-Men. So it's already been, we've heard the news about this before. It's been reported that Marvel is already looking for writers for the upcoming X-Men movie. There's been rumors and speculation that this movie might come maybe before Secret Wars, maybe after Secret Wars. Either way, within the next 3 years, give or take, an X-Men movie is going to be happening. It's going to get into development according to these reports. But the main question is, who do you get for it? What do you do? Because right now, X-Men 97 is straight cooking. And I mean, they cooking with bacon grease, with a side of lard and some extra butter. Okay. Bo, DeMayo, and the rest of the team are out there doing the business when it comes to X-Men 97. But of course, they don't even want to rehire him. But the question now is like, okay, who should you get to do this? And the popular rumor right now is Ryan Coogler. So Ryan Coogler's name has been tossed out there. And it says here, according to this rumor, Ryan Coogler will return to helm a third Black Panther movie. And the new rumor is now claiming he's signed on to do just that. But my time to shine again. The studio, according to him, says they want Coogler to take on X-Men. So the question here is, can Ryan Coogler do another X-Men movie or do an X-Men movie? And then I guess the other question is, should Ryan Coogler do an X-Men movie? I'm going to give y'all two perspectives here. One perspective on the pro is he's a black man. And from a black man, he's going to have a certain perspective as a minority of discrimination, oppression, which is integral to the story and the archetypes that come along with writing about the X-Men. The X-Men have always been a parallel for discrimination, bigotry, and those that are oppressed, right? That has always been the case. So having a person of color, a black man like Ryan Coogler, makes sense on paper. So, you know, he did give you a $1.3 billion movie with Black Panther. It did have some deep black vibes to it. Makes sense on paper. Let me give you the other perspective. And this is probably where I'm going to lean with it right now and say that I do not want Ryan Coogler to do X-Men. Now, this has nothing to do with the creative difference that I have with him in terms of not wanting to recast T'Challa. That's a separate point. My issue with Ryan Coogler doing X-Men is I'm more so concerned about his creative decision making and how he relates to the comics and puts that in on the big screen. Okay, now bear with me here. When I heard his reasoning for T'Challa Jr., I got more apprehensive of his decision making because he took a small element that was true with T'Challa and tried to put it into Black Panther Wakanda Forever and make it apply with T'Challa Jr. And I don't think any of the comic fans or the people fans of the franchise even got it, nor did they care. Because he sat here and said, hey, in the comics, T'Challa he lost his dad and he was a prince, a king, a boy king that didn't have a father. So therefore, I can apply that with T'Challa Jr., and it's the same thing. I don't like how he correlates the source material and the themes into his movies. That's my personal issue with it. And I'll be honest. Oh, and I also don't like the idea of him killing off the Queen Mother. So there are certain things I don't like in his creative process, only when it comes to specific franchises. I'm not talking about Ryan Coogler as a bad director. I like Ryan Coogler. Ryan Coogler is still one of my favorite directors. Let's make that clear. But I don't really think his correlation with the source material versus the translation and adaptation to the big screen is what you want with X-Men. And the reason why I say that is because of what we've been getting from X-Men 97. One thing that has been very apparent in X-Men 97 is the fact that it is so close to the source material that whether you're a comic fan or whether you're not a comic fan, both groups can jump in and absolutely enjoy. What I have loved seeing so far is the resurgence of comic fans coming in and being like, ooh, that's Fatal Attraction. Let me tell y'all what that's all about. Or other non-comic fans like, yo, who's Onslaught? Yo, what's this? And their intrigue in the source material starts to rise and peak because the show is staying faithful enough. It's like 80%. It's staying faithful enough to the source material, and it's getting both sides, whether you know comics or you don't know, interested in everything. I did not see that same effect when it came to Ryan Coogler doing Black Panther, especially Black Panther Wakanda Forever. People were going into it, sure, without the same level of comic enthusiasm, but the source material was played a little bit too thin, in my opinion. So overall, I believe that X-Men is the crown jewel of Marvel, next to Spider-Man, maybe next to Hulk. This is like, you can't like, if this was DC, you can't mess up Batman, and you can't mess up Wonder Woman, and you can't mess up the Justice League. And for Marvel, that's what you also need with X-Men 97. In my opinion, it's not enough to just have a talented director like Ryan Coogler in there, because you need to get not only the non-comic fans, but you need to also get the comic fans too. And the X-Men are very, very, you gotta get to the source material. You have to. You can't just throw in Apocalypse and be like, all right, y'all happy, right? Now, here's what I would like to work, but I don't think it could work. If you told me Bo DeMayo got rehired, and if you told me Bo DeMayo was writing this X-Men movie, and if you told me Ryan Coogler was going to direct it based off of that script, now you have my attention. Now you have, because you're going to have two brothers, somebody that understands and respects the script to a T and understands how the people feel, and then you have a good, talented director with Ryan Coogler. I would be all on board for that. Unfortunately, I don't think that would ever work. Why? Because Ryan Coogler is a writer and director. I remember when I first saw him for Creed. It was a screening in Chicago. It was the first time I got to meet him, and nobody was checking for him. Nobody cared about him. I mean, he did Fruitvale Station, which I liked, very good, and everybody liked the movie. But at this screening, you had Michael B. Jordan right outside, you had Tessa Thompson right outside, and you had this little director, this little black guy, Ryan Coogler, just hanging around. Nobody cared. I walked up to him and I started talking to him. He was really cool. And I remember at that screening, one of the things he talked about was how he gave advice to somebody who wanted to be a director. He was like, you got to be a writer first. And one thing that's very important to Ryan Coogler is he has to write it. So before people jump on the bandwagon of, I want Ryan Coogler to do X-Men, I want you to understand that if you get Ryan Coogler to do X-Men, you're also having Ryan Coogler write X-Men. And for me, that's where I'm like, I don't know. I like him as a director, as a writer. That's where I think it's going to be not exactly what people think, because he's going to take certain liberties that I don't know if everyone's going to jive with. So I'm looking at it more so from a technical perspective, a creative perspective. Again, this has nothing to do with recast T'Challa. This is more so of his body of work and his creative approach and how he does things. I think he does fantastic work in other ways, but for this specific franchise of X-Men, it would be a no for me. So that's just my thoughts on it. But when it does come to X-Men, there is another rumor out there, and I guess this one sounds a little bit more accurate, but it says here that the X-Men movie is close to hiring a writer, with the finalists including Rafi Judkins and Michael Leslie. So Michael Leslie, what did he do? Wait, let's see. What did he do as a writer? So as a writer, American drama, I don't know what that is. I don't know. Oh, am I a producer? Hold on, let me see. Okay, writer. I don't know none of these movies. Macbeth. Ugh. Assassin's Creed. Oh God, that was terrible. Hunger Games. I did not watch that last one, so I don't know. But yuck. Assassin's Creed. No, thank you. No, thank you. What's this? Rafi? No, who is this? This is Rafi Judkins. As a writer, he's done Wheel of Time. I guess that was okay. Uncharted. Ugh. Oh, he did some. Okay, he did a couple episodes for Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. That's not bad. So I guess at least he's Marvel savvy. Yeah, I'm gonna say that neither one of these writers say anything to me. Neither one of them. So, but yeah, I don't know, guys. You guys, let me know. What do you think about these rumors about these X-Men writers? Do you think that listen, maybe you completely disagree with me. Maybe you think Ryan Coogler is the savior for the MCU and he's the only one that can do X-Men. That's totally fine if you think that way. That's okay. You don't have to agree with me. Or maybe you do agree with me and you get bonus points. No, I'm just playing. But what do y'all think? Do you guys think that Ryan Coogler should direct X-Men? Or do you think maybe they should find someone else? I don't know. Whatever you think, please feel free to let me know in the comments down below. Thank you so much for watching. This was just a segment of one of my live chats, and if you're interested in joining in on the next one, be sure to subscribe and turn on your notifications for more. I've got more videos and reviews to do for you all, and until next time, I'll see you all later.